Hello Aquarius, how are you? What you been up to? Hmm? Welcome back to Marion K Tarot. This will be your general reading for August 2025 Aquarius. So let's get stuck in, shall we? This month I'm going to be using a oracle card from the Find Your Own Way Oracle by Ari Wisner. And the tarot deck I'm using is the Visionary Woman Tarot by Kristine Gorman, and it's fabulous. So let's see. So Aquarius, you're like one of the shyest signs that follow me, okay? You very rarely comment, and I'm just like, and I see he's watching, and I'm just like, why is he not talking? Why is Aquarius not talking? Is it because we're just at such odds with each other, Aquarius? Please be my friend. But he's challenged me. He's challenged me in ways that no other sign do. And I love that about you. So, if you would like to leave a wee comment, I would be very happy. So, let's see. What have we got going on in Aquarius? What's happening with Aquarius for August 2025? This one here. Right. Okay, so you're the third sign. Let's get this. Wow. So who got it? Sagittarius got it. And I think Libra got it. Okay. So what is the message this card has for you? I think it's very interesting that the fact that it's like another air sign and a fire sign, so it's definitely like the kind of masculine energy signs, the kind of movement signs that have got this. Now, collecting your own wisdom, Aquarius, you have got lots of wisdom. It's contained deep within your very cells, because it's like you've got the wisdom for other galaxies. Okay, yes, I am going to say it. And it feels like, what does the world need? Well, the world needs you, Aquarius, because you're the one that is going to basically lead the way when it comes to this new world that is coming together. It's like we have got Pluto on your side. How is that going? Let me know, Aquarius. Has there been anything that's just like, oh, for F's sake, or is it just a slow, steady, rhythmic build up to something? Do let me know, because I'm oddly, I'm oddly interested in this. Okay, but for you yourself, Aquarius, you've got wisdom, you've got buckets for your wisdom, but I think, maybe sharing that wisdom is a bit more challenging at times. You can be quite kind of a solitary, and whilst that's always a good thing, highly recommend a solitary lifestyle. We do need people, you need other wee aliens, Aquarius. You need to go and find your people. And I think that, the community aspect of the sign of Aquarius needs to come to the fore in August. There's a lot of A's in that sense, isn't there? But that's what I feel, Aquarius. It's like there's opportunities abound for you to have those experiences and to provide. I almost see you like providing the space, providing the place that people can really go together, can really come together, and you're facilitating that because of this collective wisdom you've got. Maybe you've done it before, maybe it's something that you've done before, and you're feeling like, oh, do you know, I really enjoyed myself when I did that. I think I'm going to try that again, and I think that is a wonderful thing. So it is truly a wonderful thing. So be the wisdom in your community. That's what I would suggest that card is saying. Collect the wisdom from your community. Right, let's see what's the tarot saying. Let's have a wee look-see and see. And if you're new here, I shuffle the cards off camera, but I do it on camera as well, just so you know there's no camera tricks or anything. Listen, Aquarius, I don't even edit. You know, it's like I press record, I do the reading, and I chuck it up here in YouTube and just hope for the best. And you lovely people seem to feel the need to watch me, and I'm grateful for it. So full of gratitude. Right, let's see. I'm going to cut these actually. Interesting. Okay, what have we got? We've got the Five of Cups. We've got the Ace of Cups. We've got the Page of Pentacles. We've got the Four of Wands. We've got the Seven of Wands. And we've got the Eight of Cups. Interesting. And at the bottom of the deck, we've got the Fool. Lovely. Showing up for yourself there with that Uranian energy. Okay, so you'll have to excuse me, Aquarius, because my sinuses and allergies are really bad. So, what have we got going on here? What I find interesting is it took us until the bottom to look at the card at the bottom of the deck before we found a major arcana. And I feel like that is significant because in the first look at this, it's a bit like meh. You know, it's a bit kind of there's no really anything that is screaming out to speak about, honestly. You know, it just feels it's a bit like, you know what you're doing, you know where you went wrong, you know what not to do, and it's just about getting on your bike, literally, and getting on with it, you know. What's interesting is it's like this appears to me to be a unicycle. And all of these cards are very solitary. You know, it's like, it's just no seeing, you know, like kind of a more than one thing at a time. We like the Four of Wands, right? So the Four of Wands is there, and I think it's like that's the one that my eye is being drawn to, with the Four Wands as sunbeams. And I mean, you know, the Four of Wands is a lovely card. It's Venus and Aries, you know. But as I say, other than the Fool, you're just not really showing up for yourself. And I think that there's ways that you could be going. There's things that you could be doing, but it just feels like if you don't move, then they'll just like stay stagnant. You know, obviously you just stay stagnant if you don't move. But you know, your heart's desire, you know, secretly underneath it all, you're wanting to go, you know, you're wanting to start something new. It could be a new relationship, Aquarius. You know, with that Ace of Cups. There could be the potentiality. That's a big word for me, isn't it? Potentiality. For this new relationship. Is it a love relationship? It might be. But I think, you know, over the course of the month, it might be short-lived. But you know what, Aquarius? See, for some of you, I think that is exactly what you need. You need a short-lived love affair. Because there's been pain in the past. You know, there's been a period of grief in the past. Whether that's with a Scorpio with this Five of Cups or whether it's with any sign, you know, it really doesn't matter. Signs aren't important with regards to this. But that's what it feels like, you know, you're kind of there's a story here, right? You've been down in the doldrums. You've been going through a period of grieving over this loss. And it has been a very real loss, you know. This doesn't feel like one of these situations where it's like, oh, you might have spilt 2 cups, but oh, you've got the 3 cups behind you, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't feel like that. You know, it feels, if I was to say that, it feels like I would be being very flippant and unfeeling of your story so far, Aquarius, you know, of your story that is brought you to this point. But I do feel like there is this kind of there's this offer of, you know, having a bit of fun and taking that Page of Pentacles into consideration. You know, it could be somebody who is maybe a bit younger than you know, and it's essentially like a summer fling, you know, and as long as you keep that in mind, and you don't get too conflicted with it, and remember that there will be a point where you walk away, then enjoy it for what it is, you know. Like, going back to the collect your own wisdom, you've been round the block enough times, Aquarius, you know, and I don't mean that in a bad way, you know, we've all got our stories, but you know, it feels like it's time. It feels like it's time to just dip your toe in, have that wee bit of fun, have a wee dalliance here and there over the summer while the sun's out. Obviously, if you're in the northern hemisphere, that applies. But if you're in the southern hemisphere, you know, and it's a bit chilly, and maybe having a wee somebody to keep you warm at night over the colder months. I'm just saying, that might work for you. But ultimately, August seems like a beginning of the new, right? You don't have to be serious, Aquarius. It does not have to be the love of your life. Whatever this is, you know, I mean, I'm concentrating on the fact that it could be like a casual relationship with somebody in a romantic sense, but it could just as easily be a work thing, or like, you know, just something, just even a platonic friend, you know. Could be you go to a festival, and you go on holiday and you meet like a friend for a holiday, and that's it, and you just think about it as a really good time. But the conflict here in the Seven of Wands feels very much like, I mean, it's Mars and Leo. It doesn't feel like conflict with other people. You know, it feels like the conflict that you're feeling that other people have made examples of in the past. So, I mean, you're pretty quirky, Aquarius, you know. You don't tend to care about other people's opinions of you. But it's almost like this kind of a societal pressure, and you've been trying to conform to it for too long. And as soon as you let your guard down and just go for it, you know, just have some fun, then things turn around. You know, it's like you then, you know, begin through this conflict, you then go on to like the Eight of Cups, and that's like this kind of, I mean, it's Saturn and Pisces. It's not the easiest of energies, but Saturn's your traditional ruler. But what it does do is it unlocks something within you, Aquarius. It unlocks some potential power that you have been unaware of up until this point, and you're walking away from it, and you're using your own energy, the energy of the Fool, to go and find that ninth cup, you know, to find this, because this is only a promise, you know, this is only a potential, unless you do something about it, unless you move towards it. Well, you're going to move towards it, because the reading is finishing up and culminating in the Eight of Wands, so you're going off there. You know, you're taking your full like energy, your wanderlust, if you like, and then you're taking it in the Eight of Cups to go and find that ninth cup. So Aquarius, I wish you all the best. I wish you well in your your summer dalliances, which I'm sure there is one at least that you're thinking of. Any kind of unattached Aquariuses, there's something that you're thinking of, and there's maybe someone that you're thinking of, and you've got that cheeky wee smile on your face. So you enjoy yourself, have fun. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which gives you loads of stuff to do. And I will see you in the next one. Okay, Aquarius, lots of love. Bye.